Hello learners, I am Parikshit and welcome to another session on Unacademy CAT-alyst. In today's session, we are going to talk about a dream college, a college which is known as the CEO factory of India, JBIMS. Most of you do not know much about this college, Jamnalal Bajaj Institute of Management Studies, and today I'm going to clarify all your doubts, all your queries and provide you every detail regarding this college. A common notion that most of you have is only people from Maharashtra, only students from Maharashtra can apply to this college. And I can tell you that you can't be more wrong. JBIMS is open for students across India. Yes, there are reservation categories, and today we are going to look at exactly what are those reservation categories and how you can get into this coveted B school, which we call the CEO factory of the country. Let's get started. Okay, this is me, your educator on the platform with the highest live class rating. Thanks to my learners. A lot of happenings on Unacademy in the next few days. We have a lot of new batches coming up. The 4th of August, 2 batches, and on the 7th, there is another batch. Now, if you wish to enroll for any of these batches, remember, you got to subscribe either to the Unacademy Plus plan or to the Unacademy Iconic plan. And while doing so, remember to use the code which is there on your screen, Parikshit Live. If you use this code, you will get maximum discount while subscribing to Unacademy. And also, if you use this code, you will get free mentorship from my side. I repeat, the code Parikshit Live will provide you with free mentorship. And mentorship is all about going beyond the class hours to help you with any queries, any doubts that you might have at any point of time. Okay. Now, also, the schedule for this week. Today, the 4th of August, we have a special class. I'm taking a special class today, 6 p.m. It's going to be a free class. It's going to be a class on LRDI, amazing case list, right? So today, 4th of August, 6 p.m., we have a free class on amazing LRDI, some of the amazing LRDI case lists that we have been doing recently. And if you see 10 p.m. today, geometry, the 3rd class, but that's only if you have plus subscription. The remaining are plus classes, but the 6 p.m. today, 4th of August, Wednesday, I'm taking a free class. Let's get started. Okay, let's look at the admission process of JBIMS, right? Fine. First of all, JBIMS offers 4 different courses. So what are these courses? MHRD. So that is a Masters in Human Resources. Then the second course is MMS. What is the MMS course? It's the Master of Management Studies. So MMS course that you see on your screen is equivalent to the M.B.A course, okay? So the M.B.A course that we talk about is the MMS course. Then you have an MSc in Management and then you have a part-time MBA. So these are the 4 courses that JBIMS offers. And the most coveted course that you all aspire to, the M.B.A course, right? The PGDM is the MMS course. And the MMS course fees is approximately 3 lakhs for 1 year, right? So 2 years, it comes out to be 6 lakhs. What are the admission criteria? What are the scores that JBIMS will accept this year? The Maharashtra CET, the CAT, and the CMAT scores. That's for MMS. If you want to pursue an MBA in human resources, right? MHRD, Masters in Human Resources, then also same exams, right? Qualifying exams are the same. The CET, the CAT, and the CMAT. Same for the MSc as well. For the HRD program, the 7 lakh is the total fee, while for the MSc program, it's 3 lakhs total fee. And if you wish to do a part-time MBA, only your CET scores are considered along with your graduation score, along with your graduation. Next, for the year 2021, right, let's look at the weightages that JBIMS will give. 60% weightage will be based on your written examination, which can be CAT, CET, CMAT, or the GMAT. Now, why do I say the GMAT? GMAT is only for NRIs, okay? It's not for Indians. If you are an Indian citizen, if you hold an Indian passport, then GMAT is not applicable for you. GMAT is only for foreigners. But for Indian students, the CAT, the CET, and the CMAT, and 60% weightage in your final selection of JBIMS will be based on the written exam. Your extracurricular and work experience will fetch you 20% weightage. Extracurricular, example of extracurricular is if you are a state level hockey player, state level basketball player, or probably if you are, let's say, the president of IEEE society of the country, right? Let's say you are the southern region head of IEEE. So something like that, something very extra which is not found in the CVs of thousands of other students. If you have something like that, you will get extra weightage as a part of your extracurricular activities. Then your class 10, 12 and graduation marks 15% weightage. So 5% each. 5% weightage to 10, 5% weightage to 12 and 5% weightage to graduation. And also diversity is 5%. What is diversity? If you are a girl, you will get extra weightage. 5% extra weightage if you are a girl. Okay. So that's the weightage based on different aspects. Now, if you look at the courses that they offer, right, and the eligibility criteria, the eligibility criteria is if you belong to an open category or the general category, you need to have minimum 50% aggregate in your graduation. But for reserve categories and for physically disabled candidates of Maharashtra, remember, reservation is only applicable if you hold a Maharashtra domicile. If you are an SC/ST but you don't belong to the state of Maharashtra, you cannot apply under the reserve category. In that case, even if you are an SC/ST outside Maharashtra, you will have to apply via the open category. So again, I repeat, reservation is only applicable for people from Maharashtra. And if you belong to an SC/ST, then it has to be SC/ST Maharashtra domicile, right? So the courses that they offer are finance, marketing, operations, HR and systems. Now I must tell you, in JBIMS, finance and marketing are the most sought after courses. If you look at HR and systems, okay, in JBIMS, only hardly 4-5 students will take up HR and another 4-5 might take up operations and another 4-5 systems. So not more than 20 students in total will take up operations, HR and systems in JBIMS. So 95% of the candidates who get admission in JBIMS take up either finance and marketing or marketing. What is the total number of seats? The total number of seats in JBIMS is 140 students for the batch of M.B.A. For the batch of M.B.A. MMS, it is 140 students per year. Next, let's look at the reservation criteria. I think it is very important to understand the reservation criteria. If you look at the bottom right side, right, look at the right hand side column, second last category, second last. What is the second last? JBIMS seats in all India level for OMS category. OMS is other managed outside Maharashtra students. Right hand side, second last. JBIMS seats in all India level for all India OMS category. What is OMS? Outside Maharashtra students. So if you do not belong to Maharashtra domicile, if you are outside Maharashtra student, okay, there are only 18 seats out of 140 for you. So that is why the fight in JBIMS is so tough. If you don't hold a Maharashtra domicile and if you wish to get into JBIMS, the cutoffs can go as high as 99.9 percentile. 99.9 percentile can be the overall cutoffs. Okay. Total number of seats is 140. But if you belong to a reserve category, and let's say in the reserve category, and if you are an SC/ST from Maharashtra, there are 20 seats for you. SC 13, ST 7. If you belong to a general category but hold a Maharashtra domicile, look at the top left, 47 seats are for you. 47. So I'm not getting into the details of all this, but what I'm only trying to say, non-Maharashtrian, only 18 seats. And for general category Maharashtra students, 47. The remaining all are reserved on the different categories in JBIMS. A total of 140 seats are available. Okay. Next, if you look at the JBIMS batch profile, okay, JBIMS batch profile for the last 2 years, if you look at their batch profile, almost 82% of the students who get into JBIMS are from engineering background, Only 9% are from commerce Around 5% are from management background. When I say management, it is like BBA, Bachelor's of Business Administration, right? So if you have a management graduation, then only 4%, and others like arts category and all, only 5%, arts and literature, right? So majority of the students who get into JBIMS hold an engineering background. If you look at the work experience, the kind of students that JBIMS generally prefers, if you see this, less, I would say more than 50% of the students who get into JBIMS have less than 1 year of work experience. Can you see? 52% students, which is more than half, almost 75 out of the 140 students in JBIMS have 0 to less than 1 year of work experience. So if you are a fresher, probably you belong to the median category in JBIMS. 1 to 2 years of work experience, 29%. 2 to 3 years of work experience, 15%, and more than 3%, just 4% of the students in JBIMS have more than 3 years of work experience. Okay, next thing. I think the slide which probably all of you look at, right? This is the deciding factor for 99% of the students who wish to join a B school. What is it? The placement figures. If you look at the placement figures in JBIMS, they are very, very impressive. If you look at the highest CTC being offered, it is 34.36 lakhs this year. 34, right? 34 plus lakhs this year. If you look at the top 10% of the students, right? Top 10% means out of 140 batch strength, 14 students. Top 14, if you are in the top 14, top 10%, your CTC can go to nearly 34 lakhs. 34, that is huge. If you belong to the top 30%, top 30% would mean about 40 students. About 40 students in JBIMS earn a package, get a package of 29 lakhs. But the mean and the median CTC, even if you look at that, the mean is nearly 23 lakhs, while the median CTC is 22 lakhs. So these numbers are very impressive. I think they are better than many other IIMs, right? Except for probably IIM ABC ILK, except for ABC ILK. It is comparable to ILK. I would say except for ABC, right? IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, in Calcutta, these numbers that you see, you won't get to see even in the other colleges like IIM Shillong or IIM Bodh Gaya will nowhere be close to these numbers. So given a choice between IIM Bodh Gaya and probably JBIMS, it is definitely JBIMS. Given a choice between SPJ in Bombay, Nursing Munji, Symbiosis and JBIMS, it should be definitely JBIMS. Also because the return on investment is very high. Remember, 2 years you will spend only 6 lakhs. While if you go to, let's say, an IIM Indore or IIM Kozhikode, you will have to spend nearly 25 lakhs to get the same figures, right? So that is why JBIMS is definitely a dream college. Okay. Now next thing is how do you prepare for the CET exam, right? The CET exam is what actually decides whether you get to go to JBIMS or no. Now for the CET exam, what is important is logical and analytical reasoning. I must tell you, logical and analytical reasoning is the most important section of the CET. Why? The next question is why? This is because out of the 200 odd questions in the CET, okay, 200 odd questions in the CET, 50%, I repeat, 50%. So if there are 200 questions in the CET exam, generally there are around 200. 100 of them will be from the reasoning section, logical and analytical reasoning. So it is very important that you master the reasoning section. Are there sectional cutoffs in the CET? There are absolutely no sectional cutoffs. Only there is an overall cutoff. So if you are good in the reasoning section, right, you will be able to clear the cutoff in the CET paper. Verbal and quants, definitely it's important, but it is less important. Quants is less important. There is not much focus on quants in the CET exam. Rather, there is focus on data sufficiency. Data sufficiency is they will give you two statements and then they will ask you whether the two statements are sufficient to get an answer. Such type of questions are more common. So verbal and quants, obviously it's there. I'm not saying it's not important, but what is most important is reasoning section. 50% of the total questions will be from reasoning. If you look at if you look at the next important factor, is obviously the speed. Why speed? 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours is 150 minutes. 150 minutes, 200 questions. So it is less than 1 minute per question. Less than 1 minute per question. Are there negative marking in the CET? There is no negative marking in the CET. That is a good thing. So obviously no negative marking. You are going to answer all of them. Now, where do you prepare for the CET? How do you prepare and where do you prepare? The best way to prepare for the CET is to solve CET specific questions. Now, where will you get the CET specific questions? You can either search in Amazon or Flipkart and try looking for MHCET books, MHCET books, or MHCET mock test papers, Or if you have access to Unacademy Plus, I have taken a complete course on reasoning. Why reasoning? As I said, reasoning is most important. I have taken a complete course on reasoning in Unacademy. So if you go to my profile and look for Maharashtra CET courses, you will get one of specific CET courses in Unacademy Plus. Also, another type of question which is important in the CET and which doesn't come in any other exam is visual reasoning. What is visual reasoning? Visual reasoning is they will give you 5 figures. It will follow certain sequence. It will follow a certain sequence and they will ask you what is the next figure in the sequence. How many such questions? 25 questions are from visual reasoning. And remember, visual reasoning is something you don't prepare for the CAT. So this is something you got to prepare specifically for the CET because 25 questions in the CET are from visual reasoning. The second thing is JBIMS admission, right, also have a centralized GDPI process. What is a centralized GDPI process? They call it CAP rounds. If you have probably done your engineering or some, let's say, medical, you would know about what is a CAP round. What is a CAP round? Let's say you get your Maharashtra CET written examination score. Then all students will be eligible for the GDPI. Every student after writing the CET written exam is eligible for the GDPI. So there will be just one GDPI for all colleges in Maharashtra under the CET. It will not be college specific. So Wellinger will not have a separate GDPI. JBIMS will not have a separate GDPI. One GDPI for all colleges. So first the written exam and there is one GD and one interview for all colleges. So finally what happens? 3 things, right? You have a written score, you have a GD, you have an interview. Sum of all these 3, you will get your final marks. And then JD or JBIMS will release a cutoff. Let's say 170 is the cutoff. So moment if let's say you have 170 or 170 plus, you'll be able to apply for JBIMS. I hope you get it. So remember, unlike the IIMs, where every IIM will have a specific IIM Ahmedabad interview separate, IIM Bangalore interview separate, IIM Calcutta interview separate. That doesn't happen in JBIMS. So all colleges in Maharashtra under CET, one interview, one GD, and you got to clear that. Topics like world economy, topics like recession, topic like how COVID will affect the Indian economy. All these topics are very important for the GD and the interview process of JBIMS and Maharashtra CET. So be very careful that you got to keep yourself updated regarding the economy because economy is one favorite topic of discussion during the interview as well as during the GD process of JBIMS. I must tell you the interview which I gave an interview long back for JBIMS. I did my M.B.A long back in 2012, right? 2012. So 1 decade, almost 10 years back, that time the world was going through a crisis. Spain was almost under recession. So the topic was why is Spain under recession and what should Spain do to come out of this recession, right? That was my GD topic. Interview questions that was asked to me during the JBIMS interview process. They asked me if the Indian rupee depreciates tomorrow, if the Indian rupee weakens, how will the exports and imports of India get impacted, right? So such type of questions were being asked to me. I also remember, if you ask my interview experience, I also remember in the JBIMS interview experience, that time, a decade back in 2012, I was working with TCS. So they asked me, which company do you work? I said TCS. And moment I said TCS, they started asking me questions about about Infosys. I said TCS, but they did not ask me anything about TCS. They asked me who is the CEO of Infosys, what is the revenue of Infosys this quarter, right? Such questions. So business and economic questions. Who is the CFO? Who is the CFO of Infosys? And such questions they ask. So it is not sufficient just to know about the details of the company that you work in, but you should also know the details of the competitors of your company, right? So such type of questions are very, very common in the JBIMS interview. And regarding their alumni, I think this college, JBIMS, was established in 1963. I repeat, 1963. So probably even your parents were not born at that time, right? Some of your parents were also not born at that time. I leave about you, right? Even your parents were not born at that time. So it is that old. And because it is that old, they have a huge alumni base. Huge alumni base. And many JBIMS alumnus are today's CEOs, And because there are so many CEOs in JBIMS, from JBIMS, right? What they do, they give back to the college. When they say they give back to the college, I mean to say that these CEOs come for their placements and recruit one or two students. For them, it's like a social service. It's like gifting back to the society. And you tend to benefit because of that. When I say you, I mean if you happen to be a student of JBIMS and if you happen to get a seat in this coveted college. So it's called the CEO Factory of India for a reason. It is located in Mumbai and in the financial hub of Asia, and even the internships, right? A lot of internship opportunities you will get throughout your JBIMS 2 years, throughout your 2 year of JBIMS. Not only just those 2 months of internship, even when you are studying in JBIMS, because you are located in Mumbai, even every Saturday and Sunday, you can take up a part-time job and they will pay you a lot. So many reasons why one should join JBIMS. So let me take questions which are there in the live. If you have questions, you can ask me now. So I see your question. CAT का through JBIMS में GDPI होता है? Yes, GDPI. The question is, if I take admission via the CAT, will the GDPI happen? Last year, because of COVID, there was no GD. There were no GDs for the last 1 or 2 years because of COVID. Now, does it mean that this year also there will be no GDs? No, it doesn't mean that. PI happens for everyone. Interview happens for everyone. Okay. Next, I have backlog in 2 subjects in my second year out of 6. So which subjects mark to choose for aggregate percentage? No, you cannot select the subjects. When they say aggregate marks, average marks, it is average of all the subjects. You cannot be selecting best 3 or best 4. That is not allowed. Next, JBIMS accepts both CAT and CET. Yes, JBIMS accepts both CAT and CET score. But even if you want to apply via your CAT score, okay, and if you do not belong to the state of Maharashtra, the cutoffs will be 99.9 plus. The cutoff will not change just because you are applying via the CAT. Even if you are applying via the CAT and if you do not belong to the state of Maharashtra, cutoffs will be 99.9 plus percentile. Next, I am Maharashtra student. Can I apply to JBIMS through CAT only? If you apply to JBIMS via the CAT, okay, then you'll have to apply via the All India Open category. All India Open category, then you cannot claim the reservations. So if you belong to the state of Maharashtra, it is easier to get admission via the CET. But there is no stopping. If you want to apply via the CAT, go ahead and apply. Just that they will consider you under the All India Open category quota. Any other questions that you have? So I hope I have made myself abundantly clear regarding the admission process in JBIMS. Question is the cutoff same for both MMS and MSc finance course? And what is the eligibility criteria? As I mentioned, MMS is the most sought after course. Obviously, the cutoffs for MMS are high and MSc finance is lower. MSc finance is lower, is definitely lower. Eligibility criteria is again graduation, 50% marks if you belong to a non-reserve category. Non-reserve category, 50% marks. Next question. I have completed my engineering in IT, but I've worked in completely different field of grain broking. Does it hamper my chances? It has absolutely no relation. It has absolutely no relations. You might be an engineer, you might be working for the prime minister, absolutely doesn't matter. JBIMS is not bothered about it. They will rather ask you questions from your graduation, and if you have a different area of work experience, at most they will ask you, why did you choose an area which is not related to your stream of graduation? I think that is it. I think these were the questions. I don't see any other question. So I hope this is clear to you. And yeah, if you have any doubts, you can always use the Unacademy app to post your doubts, and experts from Unacademy is going to answer your query. And yeah, there are skill builder courses on Unacademy. Do enroll for them. You can use my code to enroll for free. And yeah, the scholarship test just not sufficient to keep preparing. Definitely test yourself using the scholarship test. And also, if you are looking for courses, right, on Unacademy, I have just started 3 new courses in the month of August. Today, just the 4th of August, and 3 new courses we are starting. 31st of July, 2 classes have been held till date. We are starting with a practice course on DI. This is a weekend course. Every Saturday and Sunday, starts on the 31st of July, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. DI course. Geometry, we have done. It started on the 2nd of August. Today, as I speak, it is the 4th of August. We have completed 2 classes. This is going to be a complete course on geometry that we are doing. Nearly 25 hours, only and only geometry, from the very basic to the most advanced. Every weekday night, Monday to Friday, 10 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. And if you are looking for LR practice, every day, Monday to Friday, early morning, 7:45 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. live, we are going to do LRDI. So there are classes every day. Mornings are LRDI, nights are geometry, and weekend DI practice. So almost for everyone there is something, but all of this can be accessed only if you join Plus. And remember, if you need discount while enrolling for Plus, use my code Parikshit Live for maximum discounts. And also, if you join Plus using my code, you will get free mentorship. I repeat, free mentorship from my side. What is mentorship? Mentorship is all about going beyond the class hours to help you with any doubts. So during the class, any doubts, I'm going to clarify it. But beyond the class hours, if you are practicing from a book, if you are practicing from a test paper, if you want to prepare a test strategy, your schedule, and if you have any doubts, any help that you need, and if you have joined Unacademy Plus using my code Parikshit Live, apart from discounts, you will also get free mentorship. And a common query I get from students is, sir, if I join Unacademy using your code, do I get access to only your classes? Absolutely not. Why? You are subscribing to Unacademy. You're not subscribing to me, an educator, right? So when you join Unacademy using my code, you will get access to all courses from all educators and all subjects. That is it for today. And I hope you enjoyed the class. Till the next time, goodbye.